Hello and welcome back to the second video in our Proclaim online course here, where I'm teaching you how to use Proclaim in your media ministry, whether that's the church or whether it's something else that you're doing, Sunday school class or whatever. But this is the presentation software that's really designed, and the best one that I've used out of all the ones I've used, to be used in churches. It's designed for churches. It's extremely powerful. And today we're going to be opening the program for the first time and kind of giving a basic rundown of the interface. So if you haven't already, you would need to download the program. Just go to their website, go to the top menu bar and download. You can also start a free trial if you haven't purchased. You can download for Mac or for Windows, and you can install that way. They also have a remote down here. That's an app on your phone. We'll explain how to use that at a later time. But for here, I am currently running on a Mac. I have a Windows machine, and we will have to switch to that later in the course or in the advanced course to talk about some of the more advanced features that are only currently available on Windows. However, most all features are on both platforms. So the way that I like to open up is to just go find the program. We all know how to open programs on our machines, so just open up the program on Mac. You can go to the Launchpad on Windows, go to the Start menu, and this is what you'll be prompted with here, a sign-in box just like this. You're going to want to sign in with your account, the one that you created the free trial for. And you can continue to check the Keep Me Signed In and just go ahead and press Sign In. You only have to do this once. It will maintain maintain that sign in if you check that box. And it does a little bit of a syncing routine. That's where it syncs in all your presentations. And then here's what I'm presented with right now. I'm currently in a blank presentation. Many times it will pull up the last thing that you worked on. So if you were on, a previous presentation, a recent one, you will see these in here. So just to kind of give a quick rundown of the interface, on the left here, we have the title of the current presentation, which you can just click in and rename. So we could just say, demo presentation or whatever. You can set the date for that presentation. You have your service items. So you have pre-service loop, there's a warm-up, there's the actual service content, and then there's a post-service loop. So as things are kind of going. Now, once we start filling this with content, and in fact, to make this easier, I'm going to pull up an actual service just so we can actually see here. What we have is all of our announcements. That was in our pre-service loop. We don't use the warm-up, but I'll explain how that works at a later time. We have all of our service items, all of our songs and hymns, and if we click into an item, here, we'll see that we have the actual content that we can edit. And then over here on the left, we have the preview. Down at the bottom, we also have a preview that we can kind of click through and go to. And if we actually click onto the preview mode, this is one of the modes that you can kind of control Proclaim in. This is probably the easier mode that you can control it in. There are different ways to do it. I actually prefer this mode right here, which kind of shows everything, and you can just click and you have your preview over here. But if you want to have an easier mode, maybe for somebody who's running it on Sunday morning who's not technical and who didn't build the presentation, this is very easy since they can just click these arrows and go to the next slide. It's very simple. At the bottom, you're seeing a preview. So the other important thing is that we have the edit and preview mode. Now, if we're in the edit mode, that's where we're actually making changes. We're adding media, adding items. We can drag and drop things around. We can do whatever we need. In the preview mode, that's where we're actually, either which view you choose, you're previewing how things look. And if you are hard of, you need a little bit larger, you can do that. Or if you prefer it to be smaller, it's up to you. You can control all of that very easily there. However, we're not actually live yet, and we'll talk about going live. And when I say live, I mean on air in terms of what you're actually clicking is changing what's happening onto a screen. That's not currently happening because this on air is not selected. If we click on air, now it's on air and you can see that we've gone full screen. Now I can actually come back over here and click this just because I'm on a Mac and the way that works. And so I'm using my arrow keys now to kind of advance it. Obviously, in a real setting, you would have multiple screens. We will dive into how that works here shortly. So this is really the basic layout. At the top, you have all of your settings and items that you can add, very similar to most programs that you're going to be using. Over here at the top, whether you're on there or not, you have the option to have crawl text. So let me give you an example of how that works. We can say this is a test. And then if we actually send that, what it's going to do is put it right at the bottom. So it's just some text. This is usually, it's useful for pagers and these other sorts of things. They do have a pager feature right here where you could put in, if you have a church nursery and you need a page, you can do that. It kind of pops up into the bottom to give you a little bit of a better preview for that. It has a little picture of a child and then their numbers. So that's just one option for you there. And then this message right here to stage, this allows you to send a message to the stage view, which we haven't looked at yet. But what that view looks like in here, in fact, I'll actually show you. This is the confidence view. So I don't have a way to show you how that looks currently. If you can kind of see in this preview window here, this is the confidence view by default. So we have the title, we have the actual slide. Whoops, and see what I accidentally did there was clicked edit, but we have the actual slide. And so rather than having all the graphics on that back view or the confidence view, it's really just black and white. It's very plain with the text as large as possible. And this down here is the next line. It's a preview. So they have the time, page number, just different information. You can customize it. However, we can do different things like 10 minutes. And so it flashes at the top, adjust microphones, switch microphones, speak softer, slow down, speed up. You can flash a message urgently, which will flash the entire screen to catch people's attention. And you can also type in a custom message, such as, your mic is muted or something like that. And you can flash it urgently. So there's different things that you can do. This is really, I've covered some of the features already, but this is pretty much how the software works. I haven't explained every feature, but I'm trying to give you a general layout of just how everything is. So to kind of break it back down, just a very quick recap. In edit mode, the way it works is that all of your actual, all of your slides, so to speak, all of the items that you're going to have during a service are on the left-hand side. The middle section is really used for editing, or if you're in presentation mode, actually selecting what you're going to, be putting up to the screen next. And then on the very right side, that's going to be where the preview is of what you're actually seeing, what will actually be displayed. So in this case, that's how we have it set up. And you can choose, again, what you want to be displayed over here. So we're not going to cover lower thirds and stuff in today's video, but normally you would leave this defaulted on slides, which is what it comes to. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to actually build your first presentation and set up an entire service. So I really want you to be able to, just by watching not all of the videos, but just a few of them, and especially the next one, you should be able to actually use this software for a service. And so that's the main point here. There's a lot of advanced stuff and cool stuff you can do, and we'll get into that. But in the next video, we're going to talk about building the actual service, your first one. Thank you, and I hope to see you there.